Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Noble Network Virtual College Fair. Thank you for joining us. This is a webinar hosted via StriveScan. A few housekeeping items before we get started here. This is a webinar, as I mentioned, so you can ask questions throughout the entirety of our session using the Q&A button. So the chat is disabled. Our participants and our presenters will be able to share information out via the chat, but any questions you have throughout the presentations, you don't have to wait till the end or till after an institution has presented. You can go ahead and throw those Q&A questions that you have right away in the chat, and our presenters will get to those. Please note that if your question is not answered, all of our presenters today will get a copy of your questions and be able to follow up with you at a later date. Your camera and microphone are off, so panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of many different sessions happening, so please be sure to sign up for more at strivescan.com, just like how you signed up for this one. And this presentation, as well as all the others, will be recorded and available within about a week at strivescan.com/noble. Before we turn it over to our presenters, we do have a short video that we would like to play for you.
Welcome, Noble Juniors, to our first ever virtual college fair. My name is Dr. Aide Acosta, and I have the honor of serving as Chief College Officer of Noble. And I am thrilled to welcome you to this incredible event. We have over 3,000 juniors from our 17 schools across the city attending the fair today. Although we usually have this college fair in person, we have pivoted to ensure we can provide a safe and exciting virtual fair for all of our students and the more than 150 colleges in attendance. We have with us representatives from some great colleges and universities. I'll give you a few. My alma mater, the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, Gettysburg College, UIC, Dickinson College, the College of Worcester, the University of Michigan, and a number of HBCUs, including Tennessee State University, Wiley College, and Harris Stowe State University. At Noble, our vision is to ensure that all students have equitable and positive school experiences that equip them to succeed on the path of their choice, leading to 75% of alumni completing college. Today is another step on your path to success. This is a unique opportunity to hear directly from college reps and learn why they might be a good fit for you. Ask questions, be engaged, have fun, have a great day, enjoy your sessions, and be noble.
Hi, Noble Juniors. My name is Miss Metz, and I am the head of schools. When I was a principal, one of my favorite events in any school year was the Network College Fair. My wish for you is that when you're meeting with reps, that you ask curious questions and you remember mentally that you are not the only one interviewing in that conversation. Certainly they are getting to understand you a little bit, but you are also interviewing them. You want to make sure that you make a decision about your life after Noble that feels good to you. So be yourself, listen, be proud of your story, be proud of your family, be proud of your community, be proud that you live in Chicago, and just be yourself. And I hope that you enjoy it and that you take full advantage of this incredible opportunity that Noble is providing you. Have fun.
Hey Noble Juniors, I am so excited to see you. I am Miss Jennifer Reed Davis, also known as Miss Reed, and I get the pleasure to serve as Noble's Chief Equity Officer. I am so excited for today, for Noble to host our very first virtual college fair for our most special group of students, our juniors. I love you all. I'm so excited for you all today. I know that this day seemed like it never would get here, right? The idea of engaging and talking to our college admissions officers from all across the country because they want you, Noble students, to be in their campuses. That's a big deal. I remember being a junior in high school, which was not that long ago because I am still very young. And I can recall just the anxiety and the nervousness and the energy, all that surrounded this idea of applying to college and figuring out where I should be. And yet, I just want you to know that you should trust the process, trust your college team, your college advisors, your school, your principal, trust your parents, your family, the people that love you, and know that if you listen and lean in on your support system, it's all going to work out. All of the hard work that you have done so far, it's going to pay off. I believe that college really and truly is an option for each and every one of you. Your dreams are not too big. As a matter of fact, they're not big enough. So just know that we are cheering you on, we're rooting you on, we love you. Go get them. Bye, juniors.
And without further ado, we'd like to start our wonderful presentations today. And first up, we have Claremont McKenna College. And don't forget, at any point in time, you're welcome to put questions in the Q&A for our presenters.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for being here with us today. My name is Yaneli Ruiz Bus. I am a proud first-generation college graduate and currently serve as a Senior Assistant Dean of Admission at Claremont McKenna College. As you can hear from my raspy voice, I hope you can excuse that, by the way, I am just getting over a cold. And so my teammates and I have put together an awesome video for you to get to know, excuse me, CMC a bit more. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and you can learn about our institution. Here we go. Let's see.
I'm Becky Graham, and I'm an admission officer here at Claremont McKenna College.
I'm Omar Sasweta, Director of Admission. Hi, I'm Connor Fritz, Associate Dean of Admission.
I'm Jennifer Sandoval Dance, and this is CMC. Claremont McKenna College is a place where problem solvers, leaders, and people with different life experiences come together to solve problems of today and tomorrow, to put collaborative, responsive, and responsible leadership to work for everyone. Funded by the GI Bill, CMC's first students were returning World War II veterans. These early days allowed them to apply their real-world experience, combine it with their education, to apply themselves as leaders and entrepreneurs. What started out in 1946 as an all-men's college has become a vibrant and diverse liberal arts community that provides students with opportunities for small class sizes and individualized mentorship. It provides students with experiential opportunities that pair real-world impact with interpersonal development, open-minded inquiry across a spectrum of disciplines, professions, and personal causes. Claremont McKenna's tight-knit community includes about 1,300 students with nearly 6,000 across the 5 Cs. As part of the 5 Cs consortium, students are given the opportunity to take classes across the other colleges, helping to expand their skills, knowledge, and conversations. Each day, students are challenged to listen, learn, and teach each other. CMC's student body is made up of students across the globe, including 46 foreign countries, as well as 47 U.S. states and territories.
At CMC, students can expect a rigorous academic environment, and they'll have many options to choose from along their academic journey. They can choose between majors and sequences. They can pursue a double or dual degree program. They can even choose one of our interdisciplinary majors, including the Philosophy, Politics, and Economics program, or the 3-2 program in Economics and Engineering. The 3-2 program allows students to earn a Bachelor's of Arts in Economics from Claremont McKenna, along with a Bachelor's of Science from an accredited engineering school over the course of 5 years, with 1/3 of the student population earning either a dual or double major, an 8-to-1 student-to-faculty ratio, an average class size of 18 students, and nearly 80% of our students conducting research with faculty. The CMC experience is like no other. CMC is also home to 11 research institutes and centers, which give students access to graduate level research and mentorship from faculty and professional researchers. Students are also able to work within a cohort of students who share interests and ambition. The research institutes also give students access to on-campus workshops, guest speakers, and national conferences. To learn more about the research institutes and centers, click the link above.
CMC provides an ongoing proactive guidance model for opportunity that starts from your first day. The Seoul Center for Student Opportunity, for example, helps students to recognize, cultivate, and translate their interests and strengths into meaningful real-world experiences through our sponsored internship and experience program, scholar communities, and career services. The CMC Scholar Communities program includes a number of need and merit-based opportunities to help reduce the number of financial barriers students face. The sponsored internship and experience program allows students to take on opportunities both here and abroad that are either unpaid or underpaid. Career Services helps our current students and alumni create a roadmap with goals and strategies to achieve them. Along with our networking treks, other off-campus opportunities include the Washington, D.C. and Silicon Valley semester. Both of these programs allow students to travel to either Washington, D.C. or Silicon Valley for the entire semester for a full-time internship. For more information on these programs, click the link up here.
Some students here might tend to overlook off-campus opportunities due to the amount of exciting on-campus opportunities we have here at CMC. Student life on campus here is flourishing through residential living, clubs and organizations, varsity athletics, club and intramural sports, affinity groups, student leadership, on-campus dining, and of course, the amazing lineup of activities planned by our college programming board. Campus life here really offers a wide range of opportunities for students to socialize. The Athenaeum Speaker Series, for example, is the heart of our intellectual and social engagement here for our students. Guided by principles of civil discourse, viewpoint diversity, and a candid exploration of today's most pressing issues. The Athenaeum hosts renowned scholars, thought leaders, and change makers, brings them to campus for a shared meal and lecture 4 nights a week. And what's awesome about this is that our students can actually attend as many of these Speaker Series events as they'd like throughout the academic year. For those of our students who like to stay active, they can take advantage of our Roberts Williams.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and stop there to allow my colleagues to also share about their institutions. But just in summary, Claremont McKenna College is a member of the Claremont Colleges, a consortium of 5 undergraduate liberal arts institutions in the town of trees and PhDs in Southern California, also known as Claremont, California, about 40 miles east of LA. Excited to chat to you a little later.
Thank you so much, Claremont McKenna College. Next up, we have Hamilton College.
Hi everyone, I'm Nikki Barron. I'm an Associate Dean of Admission at Hamilton, and I'm also a Hamilton College alum. Something that Hamilton students and alumni all share is that we love to gush about how much we enjoy Hamilton College. So I could actually probably chat with you all day. So the challenge here is containing my enthusiasm for Hamilton in the short 6 minutes that we have together this morning. But thank you for your interest in Hamilton. And just as we are getting started, just as a broad introduction, Hamilton is a place that has a tremendous sense of community on campus among students, faculty, and staff, but also off campus among our alumni. Something else that is distinctive about Hamilton is that you really get to make the experience what you want it to be. You have a very personalized experience academically, but also outside the classroom in terms of your extracurricular experiences. So at Hamilton, with just the facts, we were founded in 1793 and chartered in 1812, making us the 3rd oldest college in New York State. We are in central New York, in the quaint college town of Clinton, New York. We have about 1,850 students, and students come to Hamilton from all over. Diversity in all of its forms is really celebrated here on the Hamilton College campus. Students bring different backgrounds, different perspectives, and different experiences with them and contribute those to the really strong community that we have here on campus. One of the reasons why we have such a strong community is that we are entirely residential. 100% of our students live on campus for all 4 years. And so you are living and learning together with your peers during your time as a Hamilton student. Also, Hamilton makes a promise to all of our students, and that promise is made up of 3 components. The first piece of the Hamilton promise is that we promise that every Hamilton student will get to study what you love. The second piece of the Hamilton Promise is that we promise every Hamilton student will get to be who you are. And the third piece of the Hamilton Promise is that we promise that every Hamilton student will get to find your future. So just to delve a little bit more deeply into each of those three promises, the first one being study what you love. We accomplish this through our curriculum. Most colleges and universities have a core curriculum or a set of distribution requirements. Hamilton has neither of those. Instead, we have an open curriculum. This means that we don't have a core curriculum or a set of distribution requirements, but every individual student at Hamilton works closely with a faculty advisor to design his or her own liberal arts college experience. You and your advisor are going to have conversations about the subject areas that interest you and the subject areas that don't interest you as much. And then your advisor pushes you to take classes outside of your comfort zone and ensures that you take classes across all different academic disciplines and ensures that you graduate with a really well-rounded, strong liberal arts college experience. But because we don't have requirements, it means that when you're sitting in every classroom at Hamilton, you are surrounded by other students who really want to be there, because students register for their courses based on their interests rather than registering for classes just to satisfy requirements. In just about every Hamilton class you take, there will be an oral component and a written component to it, because we really emphasize communication across our curriculum at Hamilton. Whatever it is that you choose to do after you graduate, you will need to know how to communicate effectively. And that's why we emphasize communication, both oral communication and written communication, so much in our curriculum. Students and professors develop really strong relationships with one another. About 75% of our classes have 19 or fewer students, and the student-to-faculty ratio is about 9-to-1. So you get a lot of personal attention in the classroom, but you're also regularly working with your professors outside the classroom. Students and professors regularly collaborate in the form of research. It's very easy to find research opportunities at any point during your 4 years at Hamilton, and also across all academic disciplines. We also certainly will support students who would like to study abroad. Any student is welcome to study abroad. We have our own Hamilton programs, but we also have programs where students can study abroad through other colleges or universities. The second piece of the Hamilton Promise is be who you are. It's hard to answer the question of who is a typical Hamilton student, because they are all different, coming to us from different experiences and different backgrounds. But students get really involved in the extracurricular activities here on campus. We have a great athletics program. We also have a great arts program, and students can easily get involved in the arts at Hamilton, even if they aren't majoring in the arts. There are great academic departments here, but you don't have to major in theater, for example, if you'd like to be involved in any of the plays. We also have about 200 student-run clubs and organizations that really reflect a lot of different personalities and a lot of different interests among our students. And it's really exciting because students will tend to get involved in lots of different extracurricular areas rather than focusing exclusively in just one extracurricular activity. So it's a very actively engaged and busy student body. The last piece of the Hamilton Promise is find your future. We have a great career center here at Hamilton. You will work with the same career advisor for all 4 years that you're here as a student at Hamilton. And your career advisor will really get to know your professional goals and your professional ambitions, and will really support you in every stage of the career development process. Our Career Center is also going to be a lifelong resource available for you. So even after you've graduated from Hamilton, if you're navigating the process of changing your job or changing your career entirely, you can still use all the support services available through the Career Center. We have a really strong alumni network, and the alumni network plays a really valuable role in the Career Center, in that students are working very closely with alumni in summer internships, and the alumni network is very valuable in helping students find postgraduate employment opportunities. Thank you again for your interest in Hamilton. I'm going to turn it over to the rest of my colleagues so you can also learn about their great institutions, but you're also welcome to be in touch with me after today if you have more questions about Hamilton.
Thank you so much. And just a reminder to folks who are putting questions in the Q&A, you can do so at any time. And we encourage you to designate if your question is to a specific college here today. Please list that in the Q&A, in the question that you're asking as well. Next up, we have Carleton College.
Hi, everyone, and thank you for having us here today to tell you a little bit about our colleges. My name is Winnie Latto. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm one of the Assistant Dean of Admissions at Carleton College. Carleton is a small private liberal arts college, and we're located in Northfields, Minnesota. And for those of you who might be familiar with Minnesota, we're roughly 45 minutes south of the Twin Cities. So the Twin Cities are Minneapolis and St. Paul. So our small town of Northfield has roughly about 20,000 people, and within the town of Northfield, there are actually two private liberal arts colleges, and Carleton is one of them. And so I'm excited to tell you about who we are, what we have to offer, and things that make us unique amongst liberal arts colleges at large. At a glance, Carleton, like I said, is small and it's a private liberal arts college. So there's roughly 2,000 students on our campus. They're completely undergraduate. And our students are coming from all over the country and all over the world. And I like to break that down a little bit. Roughly about 40% of our students are coming from the Midwestern states. 20% are coming from the East Coast. 20% are coming from the West Coast. 10 to 11% of our students come from the Southern states. And in addition to the U.S., we have roughly 11 to 12% of our students are international. I am also a proud first-generation graduate of college. I also come from a low-income background, and I am an immigrant to the U.S. And so being at Carleton and working at Carleton, I really want to make sure that students understand that Carleton has the tools and the resources to make all of our students successful. And so if you're thinking about experiences that might be personal to you or thinking about experiences and access to those, feel free to ask us those questions because we have tons of centers and resources on campus to really make your experience worthwhile. A lot of the things that I like to talk about of Carleton are what makes us distinctive. So as you can see on this slide, we function in a liberal arts curriculum, but a lot of people are like, hey, a lot of schools have liberal arts. So what does that really mean for a place like Carleton? So for us, we run on a trimester schedule. It's pretty unique for colleges at large. And for us, our trimester schedule functions under the sense that students are on campus for a fall term, a winter term, and a spring term. And in those 3 terms, you're taking 3 classes, and it's only 10 weeks long. So if you're thinking about structurally your academic environment, and if this might be that kind of environment for you, that trimester schedule is key. And a lot of students really appreciate that. With the liberal arts curriculum, you obviously get this sense of flexibility, but then you get that interdisciplinary approach to the curriculum. One of the favorite parts that students really appreciate come their senior year is that we offer a comps project. So if you're interested in finding schools that offer an opportunity in your senior year to put together a comprehensive project that focuses in your given major, we have that at Carleton. We offer 30 plus different majors and students who are interested in computer science to political science to psychology to English, all of the broad areas you have that, but then you also have the opportunity to minor too. So students really appreciate that aspect of our curriculum. I also want to speak to the classroom experience at Carleton. We are one of the top 10 liberal arts colleges, and we're known for that. But we're also known for our commitment to undergraduate teaching. Lots of our professors have degrees, the highest degree in their given fields, but that might be an intimidation process for students. So I want to reiterate the sense that our professors are there to elevate you, support you, and challenge you in the academic setting, but then they're also there to be a personal advisor to you to help you figure out your career if you're asking those questions to your professors. And lots of our students are seeking out an opportunity to engage in research. So research exists at Carleton even before you get to your comps project in your senior year. So if you're thinking about that flexibility and the nuance provided in that liberal arts curriculum, you definitely get that at Carleton. And I know one of you asked a question about traditions at Carleton. And so I'm excited to transition to talk about the student life, because that's a big part of your journey at Carleton. We're very residential. And so students really think about, how do I exist on a campus like Carleton and be a student and then also be myself? What kind of student organizations are offered? How do I interact with them? And as you can see on the slide, we have over 200 student organizations, but we also have our TRIP-CE, which are our Center for Civic and Community Engagement, which allows for you to engage in volunteer experiences within the Northfield community, the state of Minnesota, and beyond. So if that's really important to you, you know that that's an experience too. I also talk about our Office of Health Promotion. We also think about who we are and our well-being as students on campus. And so when you're thinking about that, how do you have relationships with your friends or relationships with significant others or your families while being a student on campus? And so the Office of Health Promotion really does a good job of creating programming for you so that you can interact with thinking about your well-being on top of being a student on campus. campus. So thinking about the ways that you navigate as a student on campus is not just the academic setting, it's also that personal setting too. And so one of my favorite traditions at Carleton is called late night breakfast. So during the finals time at Carleton, you get to go into the cafeteria and the professors are serving you breakfast late at night. So if that's an interest to you, feel free to check out some of our traditions online. We have them published for you to look at. I also want to pivot to think about how you apply to Carleton, because that's coming right around the corner for you all as juniors. And so we are a Common App, a Crestbridge school. We accept the coalition as well. So there are a lot of different ways that you can apply to Carleton. We do that holistic approach. We really are reading the ins and outs of your application, and we want to get to know who you are as a person and how you might best fit within the Carleton experience. If you have any questions about applying, feel free to reach out to us. I also want to reiterate that we are a school that meets 100% of demonstrated need. So feel free to think about that financial aspect of your journey and reach out to us and ask us any questions. We offer lots of virtual experiences for you this year, so feel free to check those out as well. Thank you very much for your time, and we look forward to connecting with you.
Thank you so much, Carleton College. Next up, we have Dickinson College.
Hello, everyone. My name is Bryn Good, Associate Director of Admissions here at Dickinson College in Pennsylvania. I'm also very excited to be able to share that I'm a first-generation student, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later in my presentation. So knowing today I'm going to be in attendance with so many amazing liberal arts colleges, I really want to take my time to focus on what makes Dickinson a little bit different. So everything on this slide is going to feel very similar to the previous schools. So Dickinson is a small, selective liberal arts and science institution of about 2,200 students. And so our average class size at Dickinson is going to be 14 students per class, and then a student to faculty ratio of 8:1. Some of our most popular majors would be political science, international studies, international business and management, the STEM field, and then world languages, which I'll talk about a little bit later. But the two things that really drew me to Dickinson were going to be our global engagement. And so if you know that you want to experience culture, language, and travel during your 4 years at college, Dickinson is 100% the place for you. So we're ranked number 2 on Princeton Review for global and study abroad programs. But what makes Dickinson a little bit different is that we actually operate 18 of our own programs all around the world. So even though we call Carlisle, Pennsylvania home, we have faculty and staff over in Bremen, Germany. We have partnerships over in Moscow, Russia, or Seoul, South Korea, or down in Sao Paulo, Brazil. So you're going to find Dickinsonians all around the world. And so about 65% of Dickinsonians study abroad within their 4 years. But something I'm specifically proud of is that about 50% of our science students study abroad, 60% of our student athletes study abroad, but more importantly, 67% of our students of color study abroad, and about 60% of our first generation students study abroad. So regardless of what you choose to study or where you come from, we want you to experience that global engagement and time off campus. But even if you decide like, Rylan, I don't want to go abroad, that's okay too. So a unique requirement here at Dickinson is that we do require all of our students to study a world language. And fun fact, Dickinson was the first college in the United States to offer modern world languages back in 1790. But what's really great about Dickinson is that we offer 13 different world languages. So maybe you have an interest in Japanese or Arabic or Hebrew or Russian, but you've never taken classes in those. You can do that at Dickinson. Or maybe you're taking Spanish or French or Latin right now, and you absolutely love it, and you want to continue that. You can do that at Dickinson. So I would say that the amount of students that study abroad, our international student population is around 13%. And then the fact that we offer 13 world languages showcases how much of a focus global engagement is at Dickinson. And then the second thing that I really want you to think about whenever you're thinking about Dickinson is going to be our commitment to sustainability. Whenever I talk with high school juniors and seniors all around the world, and I ask you, what do you think is the biggest crisis facing your generation? 9 out of 10 times, you say climate change. Because I think your generation thinks deeply. about what the world's going to look like in 10 and 20 years. So I'm really proud to say that last year, in 2020, Dickinson became one of only 8 colleges and universities in the entire country to go carbon neutral. And so you know that it is an institutional priority for Dickinson and our students to making sure that we're combating climate change. So that's landed us in the #1 spot for sustainability, and every student at Dickinson will take a sustainability class within their 4 years. But my favorite part of our sustainability efforts is our college farm. So Dickinson owns and operates about 80 acres of a USDA organic certified farm. And it is my favorite place. It's about 6 miles off of campus, and we have some of the cutest animals. Our students grow 100,000 pounds of organic produce, and they'll sell that at the farmers market in downtown Carlisle. 50% of the food will go into the dining facility, so you're actually eating fresh organic food. And so it's a really cool opportunity for you to get involved in our farm, but then also our sustainability efforts. I had a student ask me one time, Rylan, does Dickinson require all of their students to work out at the farm? And the answer is no. And so you can integrate the farm however you want to, if you want to at all, but just know that throughout your 4 years at Dickinson, we want you to be thinking about sustainability. So what does a Dickinson education get you? Well, 98% of our students are employed in a professional internship or graduate school within 1 year of graduating. If you're thinking about law school, we have a 3+3 program with Penn State University Dickinson Law School, but we also have achieved a 94% acceptance rate into law school. If you're thinking about medical school or anything health professions, we've achieved a 95% acceptance rate into medical schools, and the logos in front of you are where Dickinsonians end up. And so we want you to go out into the world, make the world a better place, and that could also mean studying and spending time abroad. And then finally, we are test blind. So that means that we're not looking at anyone's test scores, and we do meet 100% of demonstrated financial need for all of our admitted students. So I'll be in the Q&A if you have any questions, but I'll talk to you there.
Thank you so much. Next up, we have Bryn Mawr College.
Wonderful. Thank you, Sarah and Rylan. Hi, everyone. My name is Jennifer Keegan. I am an Associate Director of Admissions at Bryn Mawr College. I work with all of our students from the Midwest and for our applicants from China. Bryn Mawr College is a women's college. We're located in suburban Philadelphia. We have approximately 1,300 students. So I do want to talk a little bit about our educational program. So at Bryn Mawr, we don't have like a Math 101 or an English 102. Instead, what we have are called our approaches to inquiry. And as you can see, those are 4 really broad areas that students are encouraged to take classes throughout their time at Bryn Mawr. And I think often our students will find a career interest or a major through taking a class in one of these different areas. And I think we all have those classes that are our academic comfort zones and our classes that are outside of our academic comfort zones. And at Bryn Mawr, we want you to take both because you never know where that academic passion might lie. And I think the approaches to inquiry really help you to discover those different passions. The other course that you'll take is our Emily Balch seminar. Every first year student will take that course. You'll have a foreign language at Bryn Mawr. We think that's important to being liberally educated. So that can be one you're currently studying or one that you want to try new at Bryn Mawr. And then we also have some quantitative reasoning skills, but you'll work with an academic dean who will be there to really make sure that you graduate within those 4 years and are on to your next adventure. So I do want to talk a little bit about Bryn Mawr as a women's college, and Bryn Mawr is a place where women really do claim an education. And this quote may seem simple, but it's so powerful. Our students, our alumni are dynamic, they're change agents in their community. But I think when they were sitting where you were sitting, some of them necessarily thinking that they wanted to attend a women's college. Maybe they were drawn to our rigorous academics. Maybe they were drawn to our community. But I think once they're at Bryn Mawr, they're so glad that they chose a women's college. And I do think that some of the reasons for that is the success of our students in traditionally male-dominated fields. So at Bryn Mawr, we are graduating 2.5 times the national average of degrees awarded to women in STEM. But you might be sitting there listening and go, but Jennifer, my passion is in the fine arts, or my passion is in music. Why is that statistic important to me? And the reason that it is that there are some fields like STEM and business and politics that young women haven't always been encouraged to pursue in the same way that young men have. And we're changing that at Bryn Mawr. So no matter what you're excited about, no matter what you're passionate about, not only are you going to have the support of your faculty and staff, but of your peers who may see things in you that you don't even see in yourself yet. And that professional network that you're joining will stay with you throughout your time at Bryn Mawr. But then also once you leave the institution as well. I think if you're interested in research, students at Bryn Mawr, about 100% of our students will do a senior thesis or a capstone project, and 97% have a positive career outcome once they leave Bryn Mawr. And I'll talk a little bit later about how we help students get to that. So with this is a wonderful picture of Philadelphia. And so, as I said, we are in suburban Philadelphia. We're about 11 miles west of the city. So about a 20-minute train ride. And there are two train lines. One's about 2 blocks from campus, and one is about a mile that will get you right into downtown Philadelphia. We're also in an academic and social consortia. So we're in what's called the Bi-College Consortia with Haverford College. Haverford is about a mile from us. If your interests lie in the fine arts and music, I encourage you to virtually visit them. They house those departments for us. We have dance, theater, and growth and structures of cities at Bryn Mawr. We're part of what's called the Tri-College Consortia with Haverford and Swarthmore College, and Swarthmore is about 20 minutes by van. And then we're part of what's called the Quaker Consortia with Haverford, Swarthmore, and the University of Pennsylvania. And as I said, we're very close to 2 train lines that will get you right into Philadelphia to utilize classes at the University of Pennsylvania. But with that being said, you could also spend 4 years academically and socially at Bryn Mawr and have a completely comprehensive experience. So I don't think it speaks to the lack on the part of any of the institutions, just this wonderful additional benefit. The other statistics I do like to highlight here is we do have 20 combined degree programs that allow you to earn your bachelor's and master's degree in that shorter amount of time. I think a popular program with that is our engineering program. And then we have 90 study abroad programs. And that, of course, with this year's looked a little bit different, but we're hoping by the time you're looking to study abroad, we'll be able to be back to offering those opportunities. And if you go on a Bryn Mawr approved program, all your financial aid travels with you and your credits will transfer back. So we do try to make that as seamless as possible. So I do also want to talk a little bit about our 360 course cluster program as well. I encourage you, if you get a chance, to take a look at our website. I think that's a pretty dynamic program. And then I will conclude by also saying that we're also rated very highly for residence halls that look like castles. So 90% of our students do live on campus for all 4 years. And we have about 120 different clubs and organizations. And for sports, we're NCAA Division III. So if you have any questions, I will turn it back over to Sarah and to my colleagues.
Thank you so much. Next up, we have Harvard College, and this is the last opportunity to throw any questions that you have in the Q&A. Take it away. You're muted, Francisco.
Thank you. Thanks, Sarah. Understand that I only have 6 minutes. I will not spend a lot of time going through items that you guys can find in our website. But I think I wanted to spend this time really talking to you about not only the Harvard experience, but also my experience attending Harvard College. I am an alum of Harvard College and the Harvard Business School. And I actually do this as part of my free time. I enjoyed my experience so much, and it was such a transformative experience for me that I make it part of my hobby to talk to others about the experience that I had at Harvard. It seems to be a common theme through a lot of your presenters that there are first year college graduates. I am also a first year college graduate. I was born in Mexico. My parents brought the whole family over to Chicago when I was 10 years old. I grew up in Chicago, went to Benito Juarez High School, grew up in the Pilsen area, and then decided to apply to Harvard. I was the first person in my high school to be lucky enough to be admitted. And I'm telling you this because I'll be the first one to admit that I wasn't the smartest student to ever graduate from Juarez High School. To be honest, I wasn't even the smartest student to graduate in my class. I was one of the few students that decided to try and go for it. And part of that had to do with a great piece of advice that my dad once gave me when I was deciding whether to apply to colleges or not. When I asked him, Dad, should I apply to Harvard? He sat me at the table, looked me in the eye, and said, Mijito, let them say no to you. Don't say no to yourself. And those have been the most powerful words of advice that I've ever been given. So let me pay the favor forward and pass those along to you. Why am I talking to you guys about Harvard and my background and experience? Because predominantly with Black and Brown students, we have this concept called undermatching, where before we even apply, we discount ourselves. So what I'm hoping that you guys will get out of this is two things. One is that there are people that look like you that attend colleges like Harvard. And there are people that have your background, your upbringing, your life experience that not only have gone there and made it there, but have thrived through. And the second thing that I want to get is going to be the last slide of my presentation. But a little bit about Harvard and why we'll be incredibly lucky if you consider us. Harvard University is located just outside of Boston, Massachusetts, in the town of Cambridge. It is the oldest college in the United States. And I won't bore you with our list of alums that have passed through the halls of Harvard, but instead we'll tell you more what it feels like to go to Harvard today. So your first year, you're basically there at Harvard Yard, and all the other first year students are there with you. And at the bottom right is a picture of what the dining hall actually looks like. It looks almost like Hogwarts, if you will. So it probably took me a couple of weeks to decide if I should eat breakfast there or pray. But this allows you to basically meet all your other first year students. One of the big traditions that we have is at the end of your first year, the Thursday before we go on spring break, all of the first years are matched to the house that they're going to be a part of for the next 3 years. And it's a huge celebration where all the other houses, which are basically dorms, will come over and will basically pick up the first year students and we'll take them back for a great party at our respective houses. The next 2 years, you basically live in your house. It's a big dorm that just creates this community. And it's a chance for you to have both the resources of a large institution, but also the residential feel of a much smaller one. Learning at Harvard, we offer over 3,700 courses. We have 50 different concentrations, what we refer to as majors. And if there isn't one that fits your particular interest, you're able to create your own. We also offer 50 different secondary fields. So it's a field that you can pursue on top of what you're already doing. So my primary field was economics. My secondary field was Spanish. We have very small classes. Our average student faculty ratio is about 7 to 1. And we have a median class size of about 12. We also offer something called a freshman seminar, which is a chance for you your first year to basically take a very small course around 10 to 12 students with a world-renowned professor. And that's just a chance to basically learn from not only a leader in their field, but your fellow students. While Harvard is known for their academics, we also pride ourselves in the experience beyond the classroom. We offer over 450 clubs. We have 42 Division I sports, which I think it's still one of the colleges that offers the most Division I sports. And then we have over 50 plus cultural, ethnic, and student organizations. Seeing that I am very close to time, I wanted to get to the main thing that I hope that you guys will take of this presentation, that Harvard is completely admissions blind. And your acceptance there is based entirely on, your acceptance is based on merit. And once you get in, we very much believe that every person that gets into Harvard should be able to afford it. The same amount of aid will be granted to you regardless of your nationality or citizenship, and no student loans are required. If you take nothing else from this presentation, hopefully it's this, that you guys are able to afford Harvard. If your family makes less than $65,000 a year, Harvard will be free. Let me repeat that. If your family makes less than $65,000, Harvard will be absolutely free. For 90% of families, it would basically cost the same or less to attend Harvard than it would to attend their own state school. For my family, that was the case. We were looking at the financial aid package from Illinois. It was much cheaper for me to actually attend Harvard College.
Thank you so much, Harvard. Unfortunately, our session has to end at this stage. We are over time. So thank you so much. I do want to remind all of our participants today that there will be a quick 4-question survey when you close out this window. There's more sessions today. I want to remind everyone that recordings will be available at strivescan.com/noble. And we encourage you to reach out to the amazing professionals that were here today. Thank you so much for your knowledge, your information, and for helping set all of these wonderful students on the next phase in their life and the next pathway. Thank you so much, and have a great rest of your day.